Hi everyone, this is Oldbackpac. I'm the tank player for the Gankbush squad, and we're going to be going over a tank analysis. This is a replay from one of the games of Tower Baron, so it's a Silver Hero League game. And we're going to be watching Arthas. The thing we should look at first is the team comps, and what we see here is the ally team has Malfurion, Anub'arak, Vala, Arthas, and Cassie, whereas the opposing team has Greymane, Samuro, Zebo, Diablo, and Lily. So when you look at this as a tank, you realize who can kill me. And on the enemy team, they have Zebo, Samuro, and Greymane. Greymane does pretty bad damage outside of wolf form, and if he isn't wolf form, then Arthas is slowing the attack speed. Samuro is actually countered hard by Arthas because Samuro only does auto attack damage, and Arthas slows it considerably. The only person that can really damage you is Zebo. So that allows you to be somewhat more aggressive in your play, and your job is really to stick to their damage dealers instead of engaging their backline. And let's see if that's actually followed in this game.
3, 2,
so
1.
In this team, the ally team doesn't really have a good solo player. The best they got is Arthas, and so Arthas should be the solo. I don't know why Cassie's here. Cassie is part of the 4-man. She will do a lot of damage to a grouped up team. This is already kind of a weird start for this game, but it's Silver League, these kind of things happen. The bottom they're rumbling with Anub'arak and Vala and Malfurion. Since you are a 3v4, just back up, guys. Okay, and so right now the Arthas should lane against the Zebo pretty well, provided he just bats up a little bit and soaks the lane. So they don't need to be pushing this that hard, because these two heroes can't push effectively. The Cassie should go down, Arthas should back up, and they should be happy. So as of now, since you're playing solo against a much better solo, the Zebo, Arthas' goal should be to soak safely, and that requires two things. One, not taking damage, and two, just not pushing the lane in. Right now, as Arthas and Cassia are attacking the minions, they're pushing the lane deeper into the Zebo, which is not going to help much because Zebo can easily defend those two from taking the wall. Whereas the bottom, they desperately need help with AoE damage, which Cassia will provide. Oh, that was a very good kill on Tower Baron right there with his Qs. So as you can see, the top lane wasn't pushed in much at all because Zebo has good wave clear, and the bottom was getting pushed in also fairly hard. So the Immortal phase has started, and this is a good call. Beating back right now is the right play, get full health, and join the Immortal at full health. And if you look at the team comps, both teams have pretty good Immortal damage. Greymane's very good against the Immortal, so Samuro. Zebo's okay. And the ally team has Vala and Cassie. Vala doesn't really turn on to level 7 with her trait, and so she won't deal that much damage yet. Right here in this team fight, you should see that Arthas should really just be existing in the backline, just like this. It's actually a very good Arthas play. You're standing there, you're forcing them to deal with you. And that's how the Diablo can't move anywhere. Pretty soon, the Samuro will be locked down, and he overextends. His team backed up without him. But that's actually where he should be. His team hopefully should have followed up with him, but they died to the opposing damage. So right now the halftime show happened. The blue team is down. I mean the red Immortal's dying first, and so there's going to be a lost Immortal for the blue team. Right now Arthas being the solo should go split soak, and the oh wow, it's quite a good trade. The ally team actually won. But however, Arthas is the solo, he should not be here. Back up Arthas. And Cassie should also be joining the bottom team. The trick about Arthas is, you notice that his D right now is on cooldown. This is a bit of a misplay because his D should be used on cooldown every time. Whenever you're not using it, you're just losing mana. This should be a dead Greymane. Should be a dead Greymane. Not a dead Greymane. If he were to auto attack and press D, use that trait of his, he would have killed the Greymane easily. The D is a significant damage buff and a mana restoration. Fortunately, the bottom team is pushing well, so all he has to do is stay here and soak safely. But instead, Arthas wants to roam middle. These are the kind of plays that happen in plays that happen in Silver League, where he roams to join the team for really no reason. He's losing XP. So, right now, Arthas, just turn your aura on whenever you see a melee hero. That's kind of a default thing you should always do. That's just instinctive. You see a hero, turn on your aura, auto attack him, press D, get free damage in. Okay, so right now this team doesn't need Arthas' damage. He should be in that vent right here and sit there. Okay. So I suppose Arthas wants to rejoin the 2-3. Alright, maybe he's going for a gank. See if he can get it. I don't think he can.
I'm returning to base camp.
Okay, so in this situation, you notice that the enemy team got the champ, so you're pretty safe to walk into the lane, but this is not a bad idea to play safe. But stay top and soak safely. Okay. So let's talk about the team fight. You'll notice that the enemy team does have some burst damage, and it's in the Grey main, and somewhat in Somro, if he goes the Bladestorm ability. Hold on, here is the team fight, where Cassia is standing still, which is just a misplay. Arthas, press D, use your trait, get damage in. Okay, good job on Tower Baron, carrying the game. Don't see that too often. So right now, the Arthas is fighting the Shamans while his team is dying. I can see why Silver has frustration in it. So as a rule of thumb, if your team is getting attacked and you're the main source of peel, you have to be there to help them. I agree that killing the Shaman is necessary, but not at this point. In terms of talents, we can see that Arthas has block, which is good versus Greymanes and Sombros. He also has the Frozen Waste, which is also good against Sombros and Greymanes. But his level 7 is the Death Flow talent, which is not doing anything for him. He should really go with the ability that stops CC, which is the Icebound Fortitude. Good CC. Now just walk into him, Arthas. Walk into the enemy team, turn your aura on. Turn your aura on, Arthas, please. There we go. And press D. Doesn't want it. If you're gonna run from the fight, Arthas, just run. You're not gonna do anything at 10% life. This brings up the bigger point of, if you don't have life to tank, you shouldn't be trying to tank, because that's called death. Okay. But the allied team is now re-engaging. Arthas is at full life. They just got picked. So right here, if he wasn't stunned by the immortal, would have been able to tank, but instead he was. Now he's being CC'd down. So as the team fight's evolving, you can see that Arthas really isn't able to accomplish much. He's just able to stay on the back line and kind of exist near Malfurion. It's not necessarily a waste. So you have to realize that the beauty of Arthas is that once he has someone in his melee range, he keeps him there forever. You can't ever escape Arthas. And so right there. That's actually a very point I want to make. The best part about Arthas is that no one can escape Arthas. This is his best talent. You have E. Once they're in the E, they can't escape. But it's also true in reverse, is that Arthas can't escape himself. He has no way to reposition himself. He doesn't have a leap, doesn't have a jump. Once he's in a fight, he's in there to the death. So you have to really pick your engages very, very carefully, because once you're in it until either you die or they die. So here's a great opportunity where Arthas can now chain his CC. This is a Can you turn on your aura and just walk. It may not feel like a good idea to walk when you want to be auto-attacking someone, but with Arthas, if he were to just walk with his aura on, he's slowing the enemy team so the damage dealers like Vala and Cassia then do more damage. And notice that in this team fight, Arthas has a lot of mana problems. It's mostly caused by his inability to use his trait. Yeah. So right now Cassia's in the back line. She's standing still while auto-attacking. So right now you see Cassia inside the wall. She should really keep moving. That's just using the passive more effectively. Oh wow. Good bait, Vala. Vala's gonna die Samra right now. Oh wow. Well played, Tower Baron. That's what you call carrying as Vala. Okay, so now that the Immortal is taken after 10, the idea of split soaking the lanes no longer applies. This should be the 5-man defending, and then you can hopefully kill the Immortal down quickly. This should be a kill if Arthas really wanted it to be. Turns his aura on, uses his trait. Nice. So even though this team's Arthas seems to be learning the mechanics of him, the opposing Diablo also is. He literally fought a 2v3 right there. Okay. So let's talk about the ultimates. So Arthas has learned Army of the Dead, which is probably the default ultimate. If you're not sure what to take, you probably want this. So right now, yeah, so if you were to ever choose Sindragosa, this would be the map for it. Because the primary benefit of Sindragosa is the nullification of structures. And this map, you have to push the Immortal to get a lot of value off of that. Okay. So as Arthas, as your job is to peel for your backline and not chase down the melee assassins. So you see in this team fight, the Arthas is normally behind the rest of his team, which is just, it's bad play. Ah, so right now there's an advantage. The team taking the allied camp the enemy camp is really good, so this invade is well done. Yeah. So yeah, if you have an advantage, and you don't want to push, you can't push safely, the opportunity to just get camps. The allied teams just back up, get the camps, and create more lane pressure. In terms of talents, Arthas learned the level 13, where his aura does bonus damage the longer you're in it, which is fantastic versus heroes like Samro, Greymane, and Diablo. So it's the right pick. Okay, so right now, the team out of death, back up, just walk out. This is an opportunity for Arthas to peel for his team, let them escape, reposition. So that actually wasn't that bad of a fight, considering they were a man down. Okay. So right now, they don't have a tank, so they actually be very aggressive here with the Vala and the Nubrak. So right now, whenever you're trapped in a zombie wall like that, you can still do damage. Just keep attacking, because you're gonna die anyways, just get as much damage off as possible. So right here, since the enemy team's not there yet, this should be a good example for Cassia. Just back up, let Arthas be the front. What she's doing. So Arthas should walk closer to the Grey Mane and put his aura on him. Okay. So if you notice right now, this Grey Mane was on the back line, and Arthas was literally just walking around the Immortal. That is a good example of, well, how to not help your team. Okay, right now, they're re-engaging. So you should learn as Arthas who you can and who you can't really kill. If someone has some way of escaping or gap or have some sort of mobility talent like Samuro with his Shukahachi, there's no reason to try to chase him. You're just wasting your time. He's literally trolling you. Other heroes like Nazeebo, like Diablo, these people have no way to escape. Those are the heroes you want to be attached to. Yep. This team fight turned south just because the ally team didn't back up after they had the advantage. They stayed at half-life, got stunned by the Immortal a few times, and that caused Malfurion to not heal them up, and they died. If they're fortunate, the over team will overextend and they'll die for it. Ah, good play on Tower Baron here, because since the enemy team is burning down the Immortal, he's able to weaken the shield a little bit with just some free Qs. So that's 16. Arthas needs to learn the talent where his aura will root heroes that are stuck there, and he'll get a lot of value on the Grey Mane and the Samuro. This is a Diablo that wants to die. And that was a situation where tanks didn't peel. But fortunately, it happened when the Immortal was pushing, so they didn't lose a whole lot. They actually traded 1 for 1. Okay, the Immortal's down. The ally team should just back up. It's not a whole lot of reason to stay here. Let's try to get this pick. Okay, you got a pick. Okay, so now Lily can die if Arthas is able to get close enough to him. There we go. So right there's an opportunity where Arthas should just put someone in the aura and walk with them. Just walk them all the way back and don't let them leave. So here, you're going to notice that Arthas doesn't have his aura on and can't really efficiently peel. But unfortunately they get out. So once again, the teams now are even. All you need to do is get champs. Back up safe, get champs. This champ is not safe because the enemy team is already here and you know they're coming by really quickly. This is a dangerous play, but it may actually work out. There's a little bit of a pet peeve that I have of if you're the tank, you have to cap the dangerous mercenary champ, because if the enemy team comes to that point, you want to have the tank on the point, not the Malfurion or the Vala. That was a very hero league thing to do of every man for himself. I ain't dying on this cap. You guys get it. Okay, so the Arthas just uses ultimate for a reason I don't understand to clear waves. Don't do that. yes, the ghouls do deal good damage, but they are there to heal, not to deal damage, not the wave clear.
Repent before my wrath.
Okay. Their goal should be to clear out this wave and then immediately leave. Hopefully they do it. Vala is poking on the Immortal, which is very good. You can see they're not winning just because the whole team wasn't on there. So the team's engaging. This is a good cue for Arthas to go be the front line, not have Malfurion get poked at. Okay, back up with the halftime show, and then engage. So here, Arthas should be closer to the right side, so he's able to block all the incoming melee heroes. And this whole thing happened, I mean, they got team wipes just because they had no sight on the right side of the map. If the tank, Arthas, had been positioned in that smoke, they would have seen the incoming enemy team and been able to slow them and hopefully react much better than they did. That was a simple misplay by the tank, not scouting properly. And that's kind of a common theme with a lot of low-level tanks, is that they think they have a high health pool, and so they want to take damage from the objectives, which is actually kind of foolish here, but they don't know where to be in order to give sight. Sight is a huge advantage, especially when you know the team is nearby. Okay. Now everyone should just be safe, back up. This is a very dangerous place for Vol to be because Diablo could very easily jump in and Q, then flip you. Okay. So the team here should spread out a little bit, not let the Immortal stun them in that little choke point. So at this point in the game, at level 19, that fort is almost always a give, and so there's no reason to fight at this area. Fight at the walls where you have the advantage, not outside the walls. Okay. Turn on your aura, Arthas. Heal yourself. This happens a lot with a lot of the newer Arthas players, that they forget that their Q is there in order to give you a self heal. And that's just a way to, well, lose survivability. Right now is a good opportunity to have your aura up. That should be a dead Greymane. It's a 4v1, which all of them backed up from until they decided to chase more. Okay, so this is basically a one fight. Let's talk about level 20 talents. Arthas has some of the best level 20s. His absolute zero on Sindragosa is almost an auto pick. The ability where he walks faster is trash. Never pick it. Almost never. And one of his other less useful talents is AMS, Anti-Magic Shell. And what it does is it prevents all ability damage to Arthas for 3 seconds and heals for a quarter of that damage, which is very good versus mages. But if you see the opposing team, it's auto attack focused. It's Greymane, Sombreros, and yes, there's Zebo. But the Anti-Magic Shell won't be doing a lot of value. The much better ultimate is the Legion of Northrend, where he gets I believe 3 more ghouls, and each ghoul lasts 5 seconds longer, and also does more healing. It's the better ultimate, period. And so right there in that team fight where Sombra used an ability, Arthas didn't use his Anti-Magic Shell to reduce that ability damage. He just walked with the 3-blade style, which is kind of hilarious if you think about it. He learned the ability to prevent this sort of damage, and he forgets to cast it. My bad indeed. Okay, so right now they're defending, so they're 2 men down. Good call. They may get a pick if they're lucky. Okay. As the Anubrak here, one of his goals should be to stun the Nazebo. Nazebo's getting a lot of damage out of his Ravenous Spirit, and it's just a very cheap Q to prevent that. We should notice that at the level 21 mark, level 21 mark, all teams have their keeps up. So this team is actually this team is winnable for everyone. It's not over at all. even here, it's level 20. The Immortal, if they lose it, will be fighting the top cheap, where they have a fort up already. So this should be defended pretty easily, provided the enemy team doesn't straddle kills. And then there's Arthas, who gets caught out in the middle of the team, where he probably will die. If you're Arthas and you're running away, press your E and just walk out. Samuro can't follow you. The Arthas is being pinned to retreat, and he refuses to listen. It's one of those kind of games. If the allied team was up defending their top fort, it may have prevented this full shield immortal from reaching it so fast. And here comes Arthas walking through the wrong way. This is just a typical small mistake of where he has bad pathing. If he were to walk through the gate on the side where, through the allied side, it would have been fine. But instead he gets pinned by Diablo, and he dies in seconds. You'll notice that Diablo has the talent where his charge does percentage-based damage. So getting charged by Diablo into a wall is a huge deal, because your life gets burned quickly. And to make matters worse, the talent that Arthas learned, the AMS, wasn't even cast. He may have survived that engage, provided he turned it on, but he didn't, so his level 20 functionally did nothing. And that ended the game. They did well in the early game, but once the team fight started happening, once 10 came out, the stuns of Diablo really hurt the allied team, followed by the lack of peel from the Arthas. Okay, and so just to recap on this game, we should really try to think of what can Arthas do to help improve his play. The most important thing to do is turn on your aura. His aura is the whole reason he drafts Arthas. His aura minimizes attack speed and just damage from auto attackers. So whenever you're near someone, put the aura on and always have it on. If you're fleeing from someone, have it on. This way, once they go in melee range, they slow down and they can't hit you. Another thing you need to do is realize what your role is. In this game, his role was to peel away the Samuros and occasionally the Greymane. He didn't do it. He was usually off at about 10% life and afraid to engage. This really shouldn't be a problem if you have Army of the Dead up, because that heals you for a significant amount, and also your Q. You will have noticed that he had mana problems. That's because he didn't use his trait. His trait refunds mana. And since it's just free mana refund, you should cast it almost on cooldown. Every single time, just get more mana, more mana. It really helps to sustain, which gives you more Qs to give you more heals. And so you should really be trying to be the thing in between the enemy's melee assassins and your back line, and just follow them. This way, even if they do walk past you, they're attacking at, a 40% attack speed reduction, thus greatly helping your back line. If that were to be worked on, I can see this Arthas going from silver to gold pretty easily. Those very simple things of what your goal is and who you're there to protect. I hope you enjoyed my talk on how to tank with Arthas. This is me just watching a Silver League play, and hope you enjoyed it. Please leave comments down below, and come see us on channel Wintime. Or as Tower Baron will say, I'll see you in the Nexus.